Hey guys, get a morning. Why do I keep doing that shit? That shit's annoying. I already know you guys are gonna be like, bitch, you always come on here looking like shit. But hear me out. I'm getting ready. Cause what I'm doing, you guys, well, it's gonna be something little. I smoked it last night and I just left this little, like, this is a little bit. I worked today, so I'm just gonna do a little wake and bake with you guys with this little roachy roach. I have one more blunt to roll, either later or this weekend. I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna have a smoke sesh with you guys, because this time for real, I'm not gonna buy no more weed. The other vlog where I was like, go ahead and sleep all night, and then the next day, which was yesterday, I had so much anxiety for no reason, to the point where I wanted to cry. But I wasn't sad, I wasn't stressing, nothing. It was just, I was so anxious that I was like, I physically wanted to cry. And I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna get weed and I'm gonna smoke. And then I got some weed, and then I got home and I smoked. I just didn't want to live fit today. I just been in a funk, and I think it's because this is exactly how it was when I first stopped smoking weed, like a year ago. Like a year ago I stopped smoking weed on like October. I don't know the exact date, but I know it was October, and then here we are again. You guys, yesterday I did my first helix piercings. The fact that I have to stop smoking, so ghetto. I guess I'll do my fucking eyebrows. Like, God's just been blessing me left and right. God in the universe. After I took that trip to Mexico, I came back and like everything just started going good for me. I've been dreading to talk about it because I'm like, I don't want to jinx anything. I know I'm still gonna have some up and downs, some obstacles, like shit happens in life. But before I went to Mexico, I was so freaking depressed. You don't even know. Like, shit hadn't been going good for me for a long time. And it was just one thing after the other. Because I was at a job that they were like, it was a toxic environment. And when I was working there, I already had shit going on personally. That job was it just added to my fucking list of worries. Because one of the supervisors was literally like harassing me for no fucking reason. But that was so fucking stressful, and I was just like, when I was working at that job, I couldn't do it. It was too much. Dude, I had a fucking bald spot in the middle of my head because I was pulling my fucking hair out. I didn't want to quit because I have a car payment and bills and shit, so I was like, how am I supposed to pay my bills? I started doing DoorDash on the side, and then eventually my wife and I agreed that I would just quit my job, do DoorDash, and the only thing I had to pay was my car payment. My anxiety when I was staying home doing DoorDash, I was home most of the day, just spending time with my dogs, cleaning, loving being alone, and my anxiety got so bad. And this is why I'm scared to get too comfortable with shit, because I got so comfortable in my comfort zone that I started not being able to leave the house because of my anxiety. And that's not really healthy when you're in, like, not mentally stable, because then whatever happened to me could happen to you. Like, I fell into a big depression. I was depressed like on and off at first because of the job, and then when I quit I was like, maybe this is the problem. It was part of the problem, but it's not the whole problem. Like, I shouldn't be dealing with nobody at work. The fuck, I just should go to work and come back home. Like, why am I stressing so much when I literally go to work, do my job, and don't bug anyone? I thought I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit, so it's gonna solve everything. It's gonna take a lot of stress off my shoulders, and I'm gonna be able to focus on YouTube and just stay home and pay my car payment, and eventually when I'm ready finding another job. The whole time, like, I would be depressed. I would have periods of times where my mood will be up, I want to do stuff. The times where I'm depressed, the only reason you catch me up doing shit is because I have my dogs. And to me, my dogs is like having kids. It's like, if I had kids, regardless of how depressed I would feel, I would get up and feed my kids, take them to school, spend time with them. And that's what I do with my dogs, and they're the only reason that sometimes I get up. But I wouldn't leave the house. But this whole time, I was dealing with my family, my immediate family, like my mom and stuff. I don't know why it's so hard for me to like start talking about her. I didn't really think much of it, that it was causing like most of my stress and my depression. Not just dealing with her, but realizing a lot of shit. Realizing that I might have a lot of mental issues because of her, of how my mom was when I was growing up. And shit she did, I just started realizing, like, dude, this can't be normal. I don't know, I was just so confused on why I was depressed after I quit my job, because I was like, I quit for a reason. I quit because I thought that I was gonna get better, I was gonna be like freedom to do more stuff, and instead I got depressed and my anxiety got so much worse. So I'm like, now I can't leave my fucking house. I don't know, eventually I started realizing it, but I realized it and I think it was too late for me. I was just already depressed. Like, at some point I was still like optimistic, like everything's gonna pass, everything happens for a reason, blah blah blah. And then when I finally realized that I was not gonna be able to change anything, I cut my mom off, and then she just started being extra. That's when I got even more depressed, because it was just hard, and it's still hard. My thoughts started getting like crazy. I was just like, I don't want to. In my head, I would think to myself like, why am I here? I feel like I'm just taking up space, because I was like, I want to find a job, but I'm like, do I really? Because am I gonna want to leave the fucking house when it's time for me to go clock in? And then it's just gonna be another thing. I'm gonna be miserable at a job. And my wife would tell me that, just take your time. You know, she was being very supportive, but I just knew that I was like, if I don't get out of my comfort zone, my anxiety is just gonna get worse, and I'm really not gonna be able to leave the house at all. My thoughts started getting like super bad. Like I was saying, I would just think like, why am I here? I'm just a waste. I'm lazy because I don't want to work. I'm never gonna be shit in life. I fucking ruin everything. Just a lot of bad thoughts in my head, and I couldn't help them. They were just there, and I tried to be like, okay, think positive, and nothing positive was coming to my mind, and it sucked. Like, I would cry for no reason, and I would talk to my wife, and I would just be like, how I feel, like how I told you guys right now. And she would just be like, that's your mom living in your head. Like, when I lived with my mom, she would talk down on me a lot, and she would tell me, you know, that I was not gonna be shit in life, and, you know, basically basically. And I don't really talk about her because my mom's a narcissist, and she's always done this too. She always tries to say things in a way that you know they're fucked up, but in a way that if you ever call her out for it, she could cover it up by saying, I didn't mean it that way. But in reality, you know how they meant it because you just feel it. And then when they proceed to tell you that shit every fucking day, it just sticks with you. Because when I cut her off and she realized that I cut her off, she started doing so much extra shit, and every time she would do that shit, that's exactly how it would get. And I wouldn't understand, like, why am I so depressed? And then my wife's like, dude, every time your mom does something to try to get your attention, this is how you get. She tried to encourage me, like, you're beautiful, you know, you're very smart, about, like, just being nice to me and trying to get the bad thoughts out of my head. But dude, nothing was helping. Like, they were just there, and they were like, we're staying here. And it sucked because I really wanted to move on, because that's a fucked up feeling, to really be here and feel like you have no purpose here. Like, nobody wants you here. Nobody's gonna miss you when you're gone. Just fucking take your own fucking life, because what the fuck are you doing here anyways? That's what was going through my head, and it sucked because it wasn't like, I didn't want to think that shit. It wasn't voluntary, like, oh yeah, I know deep down I don't want to die. But those thoughts were like, they were strong. At the same time, I was like, I don't want to tell no one, because I'm like, I don't really want to. I know for a fact I'm not gonna act on it. But if somebody came to me, someone I love came to me and would tell me like, oh, I have those bad thoughts, like, no matter how much they would say, I'm not gonna act on it, I would still be scared for them. And I don't want to scare people like that. I would literally keep it to myself until I couldn't do it anymore, and that's when I would start talking to my wife. Sometimes the bad thoughts would eventually go away, and then I'll start feeling like really optimistic again. But this time, they weren't going away, because I had already been feeling like that for days, maybe 2 weeks already. And I was like, okay, when it's my upcoming, when am I gonna feel a little bit better? When are the positive thoughts coming? And I feel like I was just getting more and more depressed. I've been wanting to go talk to a therapist, because I really need to get a lot of shit off my chest. And I question myself a lot, and I need someone to be like, your feelings are valid. Because I always say to myself in my head, like, you're being so dramatic, it wasn't even that big of a deal. So I always try to give my mom excuses for what she's done and how she is. And I need to stop that, because why am I giving her excuses when she's not even sorry, or she don't even really care what she's done? Because when I first stopped talking to her and she was trying to get my attention, because I just stopped talking to her, like, I didn't give her an explanation or nothing. She's a narcissist, so she thinks she owns her children. And when she realized that when her children wasn't talking to her, she started bugging me. She would text me, she would blow my phone up. And I know if somebody's watching this, they're gonna say, you only have one mom, why would you do that to her? They all make mistakes. But you don't really know the half of it. It caused me a lot of mental trauma, emotional trauma growing up with her, and she hasn't changed, so nobody could tell me anything. I already went through all that, like, maybe she changed, maybe this, maybe that, and it's like, she hasn't changed, because she's still doing that shit with my siblings. Just because she's not doing it to me anymore, don't mean shit. Before, I would like pray to God and all this, and then when I couldn't stop thinking about thoughts, I was just like, what's the point? But now, like, I don't even think about it. I just think about thoughts, and then I just start thinking 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 about thou Like, I've been praying forever and God's not answering my prayers, so what's the point? I've been asking the universe and the universe don't give a fuck, so what's the point? Like, nobody gives a fuck about me. Poor me type shit, you know? At some point I was like, maybe I've done a lot of bad shit, that this is my karma. I'm trying to think and I'm like, where's my mom's karma? Because she's done more bad shit than anyone here. What the fuck? And she's out there living her best life and I'm here suffering because of her. And I say because of her because I have a lot of like emotional, I get depressed a lot and I fucking have so much anxiety, and there's like the list goes on of shit that I know I have because of her, because of growing up with her. She would text me and she would, at first she would start off by saying like she misses me and blah blah blah, and then 2 minutes later she would go straight to sounding mad like, I'm your mom and you owe me an explanation and this and this and this, answer me, what the fuck did I do to you? And then she would go to, you know what, don't talk to me no more, I don't want to know nothing, I know I didn't do anything to you, you've never respected me, so I don't even know why you're acting like this with me, blah blah. And then she would stop for a while and then she'd do it all over again. But she would always end, her messages, they would go like this. So she would start off nice, like, I miss you, blah blah. And then when she wouldn't get a reply, that's when she would like start kind of cussing me out. And then when that didn't work, then she would be like, don't talk to me, I want to know nothing no more, I never did shit to you. And that's the type of messages that she would always end with. Like, she'd be like, I didn't do nothing to you, I know I didn't do nothing to you. And it was just confirmation for me that she was never gonna own up to anything. So I was like, this is why I don't give you an explanation, because it's just gonna break my heart, because you're not gonna own up to anything that I tell you ever did and that stuck with me. You're not gonna own up to that shit. And I didn't want to go through that shit, you know? I was already going through enough ignoring her, because at the end of the day I feel like that's my mom, and I was like, I'm being rude and I'm being dramatic and this, that. But my wife always there to remind me that it's like, you're not being dramatic. It was funny because she ended up blocking me one time on social media. And I was like, okay, finally she's gonna leave me alone. She blocked me on Snapchat and Instagram. And I hadn't noticed until, because she would message me when she would blow my phone up. She would message me sometimes on Snapchat too. And she would just basically tell me the same thing like on text, like, I miss you. What the fuck did I do to you? Alright, fuck you then. She would even show up to my house, and I don't know, it was just too much. Never in my life that I thought I'd be in this position right now. Even one day she texted me again, and she was like, I'm always gonna be waiting for you till the day you want to talk to me again. And that was the day that I knew that this shit is never gonna stop. She's always gonna do some dumb shit to try to get my attention. She blocked me on social media, right? I know I cut her off, like I shouldn't care, and I really don't care that she blocked me, but it's just the fact that supposedly you care so much, but shouldn't I be blocking you from social media because I'm the one that doesn't want to talk to you, and you supposedly want to make things right and shit, but then you go and block me? Yeah, okay. It's like she's in my messages and she says one thing, but she does another. She tells me that she misses me, she wants to talk to me, and just when I'm falling for it, she does some shit like that. I always be like, oh my god, I feel like I'm being fucked up, ignoring her. Well, my wife's the one always, my wife and my cousin are the ones always like well, did she feel bad when she did this and this and this when you were young? Does she, you know, and she taking accountability? Like, you know, you don't want to hold anything against someone like, oh, you did this years ago. I mean, the shit I'm holding her, it's like serious shit, you know? But it'd be different if she was to take accountability, apologize, and actually be different with her kids, with my small siblings. But first of all, she's still the same. She's doing the same shit with my siblings. And second of all, she hasn't apologized because according to her and her text messages, she knows that she has never done shit to me, and I'm the one that's always been disrespectful to her. So I'm like, yeah, she's never gonna change. This is you, and we're your little chess pieces, and you just moving us around. That's literally what she's doing. My fucking camera died. What was I saying? I realized that this shit's never gonna stop. She's always gonna be doing the shit that she's doing now. Like, am I really gonna let her stop me from living my best life? No. She blocked me, and people started telling me that she was posting that she missed me, posting videos and pictures of me, and it's like, how you gonna block me and just to post about me? Like, come on now. It was funny because when she started realizing that I was cutting her off, she never figured maybe my daughter or something's going on with her, because this is not like her. She would just stop talking to her family. I feel like any normal parent would think like that. Like, this is not like my kid. Why would they just randomly stop talking to me? I'm gonna ask them if they're okay, if they need anything. I'm always gonna be here for you. Cha la la. She always went straight to, what did I do to you? I'm like, guilty conscience? Conscious? How do you say it? Conscious? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you know what I mean. You must feel guilty about some shit. You know why I don't talk to you, but you want to act dumb, you want to play victim, go around telling people how you're poor you because your oldest daughter doesn't talk to you and blah blah blah. But you know what, I've gotten to this point where it's like, if I'm telling someone I talk to my mom and they were like, you only have one mom, I'm gonna stop you right there, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know my life. You didn't grow up with my mom. Stop talking like you know. With people that grew up with good moms, I'm always like, oh my god, lucky them. But they're always the ones that tell you, you only have one mom, like, you know, you should talk to her, blah blah, you shouldn't cut her off. And I'm like, okay, listen, like, you can't tell me that, because you didn't grow up with me, and you can't, you know, you don't know how my mom is. Just because your mom was a good mom and showed you love doesn't mean that my mom did. People don't understand unless they're in that situation, you know. So unless you grew up with a narcissist parent, you wouldn't understand. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but I just hate when people tell me that, you know, you only have one mom, like, you should, like, I already beat myself up enough about it and question myself a lot. Like, don't you think I've thought about that? But at some point, toxic is toxic, and family or not, you have to, like, take care of your own sanity and take care of yourself first. If someone's toxic in your life, family or not, you shouldn't keep them in your life if you don't want them in your life. Just because that's your mom, that's your dad, that's your brother, it don't matter. Like, the fuck. Eventually, the first good news we got was that I was gonna be able to go visit Mexico. At first I didn't want to, and it was like very nerve-wracking because I'm not from here, so I can't just grab my bags and like, oh, I might take a trip to Mexico and, you know, whatever. My parents brought me here when I was 7, and I hadn't been to Mexico in 20 years. Well, 19, almost 20 years. When I went over there, I was excited, you know. I take pride in where I'm from. I take pride in where I was born. It was the best experience ever. As soon as I went over there, everything changed for me. Everything started going good. First of all, the trip was amazing. And of course, my mom made it to where I was stressing. And she was just trying to ruin my trip. But we still ended up going. We ended up staying like a couple days. The best fucking days of my life. And after that trip to Mexico, we came back and everything just started looking up for me. I had applied for a job at to like deliver the mail, and they pay good. So I was like, okay, you know, better than the last job I had. And I thought I wasn't gonna get it because it had been months since I had applied. But my wife was like, it's a government job, so you know, it takes a while for everything to go through. And I was losing hope when I was getting depressed. They sent me an email saying that I got the job if I wanted, you know, to go in to start like the whole process. Around this time, I was already waiting for the piercing apprenticeship, but I was like, should I still take it just to make money for now? But I ended up not taking it. I respectfully turned down the mail thing. I was waiting for November. The Mexico trip comes. We go, we have fun. I love it. I see some of my family. That's another story of, it was good, but I had my bad moments over there. But that's another story I'm not gonna get into. My friend called me and said if I wanted to go do the apprenticeship earlier than expected. She just hit me up randomly and she was like, you want to start coming in next week? And I was like, yes. I started going and I've been going ever since. And that's a big part of why I got out of my depression. First of all, because I went to Mexico and that shit just fed my soul. And then I came back and then she tells me, you know, come start the job already. Come start learning already so you can start making money. And that was just the cherry on the top. Like, God is answering my prayers. The universe is listening to me. My positivity started coming back. I'm back and I'm better. I know I'm still gonna have my days because I still do have my days, but I'm like, I have something to look forward to now. You know, I love my job. I started smoking, even though I'm gonna have to stop again, but I'm just in a better headspace. I'm not in the best headspace. I know I still need to go and talk to someone, but I'm so glad I'm out of that hole I was digging myself in. But anyways, I already done talk to you guys about this shit. You know, I have been wanting to vent about my mom, but it's kind of hard to vent about someone. At the end of the day, that's my mom and I love her. The way I grew up, it's like I wanted to respect her. And I feel like I am by talking about her, but does she really deserve respect? I mean, she thinks that I never respected her, which when she texted me that, I was just like, what the fuck? Because like her true feelings came out when she told me that, you know? It was just stupid for me because before I cut her off and I had moved out, when I lived there it was hell, but when I moved out we started getting along. She started being like a whole different, she was the total opposite of like when I lived there. And at the time I was still blind to her devilish ways. Yo, these eyeliner wings are not it. Dude, this eyeliner fucking sucks ass. Do not get this Milani eyeliner, don't get it. In the meantime where I was blind still and she was being finally a mom, it was just a face she was putting on, a facade she was putting on. And I realized it because she said, you've never respected me. And it's like, so you still felt this same way, but I never respected you. That, you know, she basically never changed her mind about me. You know, Even when we were cool, even when we had that relationship going on, she still thought the same shit about me she thought when I lived with her. And that's what did it for me. I was just like, okay, so the bond we had was fake because I've never respected you according to you. Not to mention that I was there for her when I was a kid. Like the way she said you never respected me, she acted like she made it seem like I'm the problem. Like, bruh, you're the fucking parent here. You're the one that put me down day after day for fucking 18 fucking years. Not even 18, more than 18, because I didn't move out when I was 18, so. This eyeliner ruined my whole fucking makeup. I don't know how long this video is gonna be because I talk way too fucking much. I'm having so much fucking trouble with my makeup today. But I think this video is gonna be long enough already, so I'm gonna come back and show you guys how I look at the end because this is a fucking mess. I'm ready. I straightened my hair. I said I wasn't gonna straighten it, but I was like, fuck it. I'm wearing sweats today. I checked the weather. It's gonna be kind of chilly today. It's gonna be like the highest is gonna be today is like 72. I get cold easy because I'm anemic, so I'm wearing some sweats and yeah, that's it. This is my fit for today. It's a checky shirt and black sweats, and yeah, I was like, what am I gonna do with my makeup, because y'all seen I was having trouble, I was struggling, but I made something out of it. Yes, I don't know why I always end up with dark makeup whenever I come on here and say I'm gonna do something simple, and I end up with some dark makeup, but I'm not mad at it. It's cute or whatever.